Hello everyone, today I've got something a little bit different for you. It's a Regen Rovers Football Manager experiment. So I've gone back in time in the Doctor's TARDIS to August 2025, so we've gone back a year. We're not promoted to the Championship, we've gone back to prior to that magnificent season where we did manage to get promoted. It's the start of the 10th season, and we're going to ask a few things today. But it's mainly centering around the legend that is Mr. Jack Young, of course. As you can tell from the title of the video, can he score in League One? We're going to find out, but we're also going to find out a couple other things. Can Lees of Zealous perform well in goal for us? And thirdly, how do Regen Rovers do? How do they cope without me as the main manager in charge of the team? Because I'm going to go on holiday for this season, and we're going to see how the team cope without me on the sidelines, changing the tactics, giving them a boost and all that jazz, I suppose, that centres around being a football manager. Now, the reason for this video, there's a few vocal fans out there, which we all love Jack Young, we all love Lee Zealous of what they have done to the club, but there's some of you that think Zealous should be on number one. They think he's better than Fuat Kachar, and Lee Zealous should be in goal every single game. There's also some of you, not many, there's probably only a couple of you to be honest, that think Jack Young should be our number one striker because of everything he's done for the club. He hasn't been given a fair crack of the whip in League One especially, and probably not since the National League days. So you think he should be our best striker up front. Well, you think he is our best striker and you think he should be our number one up front. Maybe instead of Craig Palmer, because his natural role is advanced forward. So what I have done is I've created this team here. Zealous in goal. We've got the old partnership of Bayern Walker at the back. We've got Drury, Udder and Young up front. Of course, Drury and Udder are currently injured, but this will be the preferred lineup if everyone is available. We've also got Paddy Murray in there, Garber and Dibber as well. So it's not the 11 that I tended to play last season, but that's what we're going with to see how they cope without me in charge. I'm going to click go on holiday and I'm going to select this, use current match tactics, and my assistant will use those old tactics that we used at the start of last season and for the two previous years to that as well, and it was obviously very successful. Of course, in this past season I did change the tactics, remember, so we'll see how they cope with those tactics on all the time, and also use current team selection when possible. And I'll go on holiday until the end of the season and we'll see how they get on. Of course, Jack Young only really needs to score one goal in League One to answer the question, can he score in League One? But can he score more goals than someone like Craig Palmer or Drury or Udder? Who will be our top goal scorer with Jack Young in the team every week? What would his average rating be? Of course, he bangs in the goals for the 23s, but can he do it in the first team? Let's find out. Right then, it's the 15th of May 2026. The club haven't sacked me, even though I've been on holiday for a year. But how did Regen Rovers cope without me in charge of the team? Properly in charge of the team. I've been managing from abroad. I've been on holiday in Panama. Somewhere like that. Well then, it didn't really go to plan, did it? Regen Rovers finished bottom of the table without me. I'm not entirely shocked by that because the game obviously thinks we should finish there. This could prove one of a few things. Either I'm actually quite a good manager and my tactical changes in matches, my ability to perform team talks and all of that and choose the correct lineup as well, the best players, means that we're actually performing better than we should be on the game. Or Football Manager works on a reputation basis, so if you're not in charge of a team, it will just mainly put you where you're meant to finish, which is bottom of the table. They managed to win 10 games, 8 draws, 28 defeats, minus 41 goal difference, 95 goals conceded. That does not look good for Lee Zealous. But let's have a look to see if Jack Young scored, and he did. He scored 8 goals in 50 games, so not a great goal to game ratio. 7 assists, that's alright. But remember, Craig Palmer, I think this proves one thing. Craig Palmer's better in that position. Craig Palmer, as an advanced forward, was our top goal scorer. He got the most assists. That's what we're used to him doing. Jack Young, on the other hand, a second-rate Craig Palmer, I'm afraid. His average rating was also very poor, 6.67, which is not good at all, I'm afraid. He wasn't our top goal scorer. You can see Spencer Drury got 22 goals. Udder scored more goals than Jack Young and got more assists. Not a brilliant performance from him as that target man. Perhaps I could have changed it up and put Francis Arthur Owusu as the main man there. He actually only came off the bench 5 times. Quite interesting to see, because of course my assistant chose that starting lineup when possible, and other players maybe should have played instead and would have done better as a team. I'm going to do this a second time round, by the way. There's going to be 2 attempts at this. The second attempt, I'm going to just put Jack Young up front as the... Well, I'll show you in a second, but let's focus on this. Lee Sebzelis obviously conceded a lot of goals. He got an okay average rating though, 6.86, so it was probably down to the players in front of him that let him down. But yeah, I mean, Jack Young was our 3rd top goal scorer, but he played the 2nd highest number of games up front, didn't he? So that's not great. Let's have a look at him. I don't think he's improved as a player, but I'll be happy that he played every game, of course. It's maybe this has created more questions than answers, this first attempt at this. If we just go to the schedule, you can see we did actually win that first game 3-1, and Jack Young managed to score the first goal of the season for us. Let's just have a quick look at this goal then. The first goal of League One of this season. You know, it's a mistake at the back, and Jack Young, good finish, to be fair. I know he was gifted the ball, but still, decent strike from him. He also managed to score against AFC Wimbledon. He got a goal there in a win, and he managed to get a goal against Newport County. We actually went 3-0 up in that game. Now that's another thing, because my tactics very attacking. My assistant's using the tactics. We're probably 3-0 up, and he's still attacking. Maybe I think the assistant should use his knowledge as well, though. It's not just he will leave it on attacking for the entire game. I don't think so anyway. But Spencer Drury was clearly our best striker of this season. He did very well despite us getting relegated and finished bottom of the league. He actually scored against Gillingham again to inspire us to a draw. Let's have a look at this one as well. Spencer Drury playing it into Patrick Dibber, through to Uda. Lovely ball through to Jack Young. Good little finish with the outside of his foot, actually. He's good at finishing. He's got 13 on finishing. It's just he can't really do much else nowadays. He's not up to the quality of the rest of the players in this league. He managed to get a draw for us against Wimbledon, although they scored a late goal. He scored against Newport County again. He seems to score against the same teams, but he didn't score after that point, I don't think. And we really struggled towards the end of the season and finished bottom of the table. Knocked out in the FA Cup second round as well. Johnson's Paint Trophy we didn't do... Oh, Checkatrade Trophy, sorry, we didn't do very well at. Interesting. And Lee Sebzelis in goal. Did manage to pick up 3 clean sheets in the league, 1 in the FA Cup. He played 109 games this season. I've just realised, because I told him to play for the under-23s as well, he's ended up playing 109 games this season. Is that right? It's vanished now, but it's... oh wait, 60. Where did 109 come? Oh, he conceded 109 goals. I'm getting mixed up. He conceded 109 goals in 60 games this season across all competitions, including the under-23s. He didn't do too badly, though, to be fair. Philip Couchard didn't play that well in the games he did play, let's be honest. But that's probably because his match sharpness was awful when he did play, because he wasn't playing for the under-23s. We're going to have another go to see what happens. But this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear the squad, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to put Jack Young up front as an advanced forward, and I'm going to leave everything else blank. So I will let my assistant decide which players should play game on game. I'm also going to change this to a counter tactic. Going to turn that away. We're just going to be direct, higher tempo, go on the counter. It worked. It started to work better towards the end of the season, but everything else will stay the same, I think. And we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to holiday another season. Clicking on those, holiday to the end of the season, and we'll see if Jack Young can have a better season, and if overall Regen Rovers will survive, because I've let my assistant have a little bit more control than he already does, and maybe a bit more of a sensible tactic as well. Let's see what happens. Okay, it was actually worse for us in this second attempt. 31 points this season, bottom of the table again, relegated from League One. Only 6 wins, 13 draws. Not great at all. Jack Young scored 4 goals this season and 5 assists. So he actually had a worse season. However, looking at it in more detail, he played less games, and that was because he got injured for 4 months. If we look at him here, 4-month injury, Achilles tendon, injured in November time, so he missed a large chunk of the season. He played 29 games, so to be honest, his season was actually better this second attempt. 6.74 average rating, slightly higher. Things are actually improving for him a bit in training as well, strangely enough. Spencer Drury was top scorer again with 15 goals, but not as good as last season. And the other strikers didn't play particularly well. Uda only got 8 goals. McGuigan only got 4. Arthur Owusu only got 2. So I let my assistant have free rein a bit more this year, and it didn't work. However, this second attempt has kind of been ruined by the fact Jack Young got injured. But that is another thing about Jack Young. He is a little bit injury prone. He does pick up a few knocks here and there. Lee Sevzelis actually only played 2 games in goal, so my assistant obviously believed Fukuchar was the better keeper to play in goal. Didn't play particularly well, only 3 clean sheets, just like Sevzelis last year. He conceded less goals though in the league, 75, compared to over 90 last year with Sevzelis. Now I'm going to try this one more time. A third attempt. That's what you're taught in science, aren't you? At least 3 attempts at these experiments, although I have altered them every single time, and you're meant to keep them consistent, but never mind. We're going to try something a bit different again. This time round, we're going to play Jack Young as a poacher, so in Spencer Drury's position. Now, last couple of seasons, obviously Spencer Drury managed to break Jack Young's record, scoring 25 goals in 1 year. But last year, Craig Palmer was the top scorer from that right-hand side, so that was the more prolific position for getting goals and assists. We'll see how Jack Young gets on in the poacher position, which traditionally has scored a lot of goals for us, but perhaps less assists. So we'll see how he copes, how his average rating changes because of that. He's also a natural poacher, so I want to see how he gets on there as well. But secondly, the second thing I'm going to do is we'll put Sevzelis in goal, actually, for this third attempt, but that's it. But the other thing I am going to do is I'm going to let my assistant decide the tactics. So I will click use current team selection when possible. So those 2 players will play when possible. But I don't mind if he changes the tactics and does his own thing, because it might be the tactics that are making us finish bottom of the table as opposed to anything else. So we'll try that and see what happens in this third attempt. And for the 3rd time in a row, we've been relegated bottom of the table once again, although this time it was much closer. As you can see, 44 points, only 4 off safety, very close at the bottom. 12 wins, 8 draws, much better goal difference I think as well. But for the 3rd time we have been relegated, and Jack Young only started 6 games and got 6 sub appearances, so surely an injury again. 2-month dislocated shoulder. So with this, my assistant has actually decided to go against me. That's interesting. Why did that happen? This third attempt was a failure. He's not scored a single goal in those games and a very poor average rating, but by telling my assistant not to necessarily use the same tactics, it's enabled him to have his own free rein, and he's done what he's wanted to do, and he's decided not to play Jack Young. Top goal scorer Craig Palmer with 10 goals, but that's pretty pathetic. McGuigan got 9, Spencer Drury only got 9 assists from him. Interesting. Why has this happened? I don't know. Well, we've ended it this way. I suppose we've given my assistant free rein in the end, and he decided not. Let's just have a look. So first game of the season, they lost 1-0. We lost 1-0. And he actually went with this tactic and ignored me. He didn't play Jack Young up front. Interesting. So I'm assuming because he was able to choose different tactics with only one up front, he didn't have to play Jack Young as a poacher on the left-hand side, because there is no left-hand side, if you get what I mean there. Played Tim Green on the wing. Okay, interesting. And what did he play on the last day of the season? We lost the last 4 games. We could have survived, actually. But 4 defeats in the last 4 games meant we went down. So, we played something completely different. Jack Young behind Craig Palmer there on the left-hand side. This is interesting. Giving my assistant control of the tactics. He played Sevzelis most games. In fact, 29 games. Fukuchar, 25. Sevzelis, he's done himself proud, I must say. He's actually performed better average rating-wise. Let's see how many goals he conceded. 27 goals he conceded in the league in 25 games. Fukuchar conceded 40 in 21. Interesting. So, I think overall this experiment has proven Jack Young can score in League One. In the first 2 attempts he scored in League One. However, he's not as good as our other strikers at scoring in League One, let's be honest. They were all terrible in this third attempt because my assistant seemed to be mixing up the tactics loads. But in the first 2 attempts, Jack Young got a few goals, but not as many as the likes of Spencer Drury, Uda and Palmer. I suppose Palmer's done better in this one because he actually played. He didn't really play in the other 2 seasons because I was making Jack Young play. But we've also found that without me in charge, Regen Rovers are pretty awful. They get relegated every year. That kind of makes me look good. I'm kind of pleased about that. It's not the fact that the players are just being underrated by the game. I think when I'm there, I'm able to take control, make changes in matches, play the correct players, alternate players. You know, I manage the whole team correctly. Without me there, the game just doesn't allow Regen Rovers to do well. You need a real life manager, a real human being in charge of this team to actually do anything with them. But thirdly, we've shown that Sivzelis is actually still a good goalkeeper, I think, overall. I mean, he didn't have an amazing 3 seasons in these 3 attempts, and his average rating wasn't the best. But Phuk Char hasn't exactly proven himself to be an amazing keeper in the 2nd attempt and this 3rd season as well. I still think he's the better keeper on paper, and I think going forwards he should be our number 1. There's different factors in how a keeper performs, because the defence might have changed for the games that he played and the tactics might have changed, etc. But there we go. Jack Young can score in League 1. This 3rd attempt was a bit of a failure, but that's what you get with these experiments things, I suppose. When you just mess around with the game, things happen. And I've shown that if you change if you allow your assistant to take control of the tactics, it means he's not going to play Jack Young every game. I'm sure you guys would have lots of different ways of doing this as well. If you're interested in these sort of experiments using Regen Rovers, let me know in the comment section below. Hit that like button as well if you've enjoyed today's video. It's been a bit different. We've learnt something. We've learnt that Jack Young can score, but it takes many games. I mean, he has to play 50 odd games, or at least 30 games, to really be able to score a handful of goals, which is not good enough for us anymore. We're going to be in the Championship, remember? I mean, I could do the same for the Championship. Can Jack Young score in the Championship? He probably would if he was to play 50 games in 1 year. But I think if I played Phuk Char up front for 50 games, he'd probably score a goal, let's be honest, because you just need to be in the right place at the right time to stick it in the back of the net, don't you? Anyway, thanks for watching today's video. The next video will be episode 101 of Regen Rovers, the start of our Championship campaign. Wish me luck. I'll see you very soon.